This is CBC Here and Now.
In large part, the inventory just simply wasn't there to bring in.
Sputtering sales. What's happening with new cars and how do we compare to the rest of the country?
The Association for New Canadians talks about a special project, an art display that tackles an often unreported threat.
People think human trafficking is human smuggling. So they think, oh, that doesn't happen here in Newfoundland.
That's coming up.
Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes. We begin tonight with a consumer story about cars. New vehicle sales in this province seriously stalled in the first half of this year. It's the biggest plunge of any province in the country compared to the same period last year. Now, the shipping company that transports most vehicles to this province is acknowledging it may have been a factor in that downturn, but says there were bigger issues at play. Terry Roberts reports.
Even when one of its ships are not in port, the OceanX terminal in St. John's is a busy place. More than 70% of the goods destined for the Avalon Peninsula, about half of all imported goods to the province, are offloaded here, carried aboard one of the 3 cargo ships that sail between St. John's and mainland Canada ports in Halifax and Montreal. On an average year, OceanX delivers 26,000 new light vehicles to St. John's, where they are then distributed to various dealerships and sold to customers. But the first 6 months of 2022 were not good for the auto sector. The numbers show that sales for light vehicles in Newfoundland and Labrador plunged by 25%. Now, sales were down all across Canada, but 25%, that's twice the national average. The data speaks to the upheaval, and so do the pictures. Dealership lots along Kenmount Road, plenty of empty spaces. Hard to imagine there's much business going on. But the industry has changed in recent years as dealers adapted to the challenges that came with the pandemic. First, manufacturers slowed production in order to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Then a global semiconductor shortage hit, squeezing the supply of microchips used to make everything from trucks to toothbrushes. So dealers have opted for a new business model, not stocking vast quantities of vehicles that customers can browse, because a slowdown in the availability of inventory means that's no longer possible. The buying process has changed. Those shopping for a new vehicle have to plan ahead, place an order, waiting anywhere from 3 to 6 months, in some cases even longer, for their new ride to arrive. I was talking to some dealerships here in St. John's this week. I couldn't convince any of them to do an interview, but one of the reasons that kept coming up for this slowdown in sales, OceanX, that century-old shipping company that brings in most of the goods we need here on this island. The OceanX fleet was reduced to 2 ships for the first half of this year. That's because the Sanderling, which serves the Halifax-St. John's service and carries large numbers of vehicles, was in dry dock until late June. This meant vehicles were being moved from Halifax every second week instead of weekly.
During the peak period in the spring, I'll say, there was probably 1,500 that were sitting there, and in our view, that's not a lot more than what we would typically see in an average spring peak.
OceanX says it can't be held responsible for breaks in the auto manufacturing supply chain that slowed the production of cars and trucks, though the company is not denying the temporary loss of the Sanderling impacted its operations.
The auto manufacturers, and in particular the dealers on the receiving end here in the province, would have felt that to a small degree. But again, I really believe that that was not the core challenge that the industry was facing. While there were dealers that didn't have inventory here, in our view, in a big way, that was more in part because of shortages in production and actual inventory flow from the plants and the manufacturing facilities.
It's the new reality. Dealers are struggling to bring in new vehicles, yet demand is strong. So don't expect any rebates or incentives. So you're paying top dollar for trucks like this. But they're telling me the situation is improving. Why? Because vehicle production is ramping up and availability is improving. And OceanX is back in full swing, ready to deliver.
Right now we're in smooth sailing mode. We're bringing in roughly 300 units every week from from Halifax, and really the same, maybe just shy of that, 250 to 250 units from Montreal as well every week.
But the days of dealer lots filled with vehicles is probably a thing of the past, meaning you'll have to get in the queue, make your order, and wait. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
The RCMP is advising drivers on the Avalon of a motor vehicle accident on the highway near the Avondale Access Road. Police have restricted traffic down to one lane, and drivers can expect delays for the next half hour. Well, in other news, the English School District is seeking answers from government after a new high school was announced for the town Premier Andrew Furey calls home, a school the district didn't ask for. The new high school would be built in Portugal Cove, St. Phillips. In an email obtained by CBC News, District CEO Tony Stack requested an explanation from government after unexpected money to plan the facility appeared in the last provincial budget. The district had requested cash to build 3 new schools, which were also approved. Stack says a new school in Portugal Cove would profoundly affect enrollment at Prince of Wales High School in St. John's, which records show is currently underutilized. The education minister says the decision reflects changes in the student population and has nothing to do with where the premier lives.
This high school was announced in Portugal Cove, St. Phillips, because there are 317 kids getting on a bus every day to go out of their district. And by the time any such school is built, that number could be near 400. I think that case alone speaks for itself. If the school enrollment trends that we've seen this year continue, we know that there are going to be other areas in the province where population growth is going to really warrant new infrastructure. And we need to be ready for that. We can't be reactive and get caught.
Well, not a bad night to be live on George Street. That's where Ashley is right now for the 37th annual George Street Festival. I'm sure it's going to be really busy down there tonight. How's it looking out there, Ashley?
Yes, it certainly will, I'm sure, be busy tonight. Things kicked off last night, and headlining tonight is the tea parties. People are just starting to come in now, and they've got a beautiful evening for it. But it is the first night in a while that I've needed a jacket outside, especially once the sun goes behind the clouds. But as we head through the weekend, we're looking at the chance of showers definitely on Saturday. By the time we head into Sunday, things will get a bit nicer. We'll see lots more sunshine, temperatures climbing as well. We've seen this really nice break in the humidity, but as we head through the next couple of days, that will return. I'll get into the full forecast when I come back, Carolyn.
Thanks so much, Ashley. We'll check back in with you a little later in the show for your weekend weather forecast and to hear more about what people can expect on George Street tonight and into the weekend. Thanks so much. Well, here's a bird's eye view of the damage done by the forest fire near Route 360 that continues to burn. The Department of Fisheries, Forestry and Agriculture shared this video showing a helicopter working on extinguishing the flames. As of this morning, the fire is still considered 10% contained. A water bomber, helicopter, 8 pump units, and 27 crew members are currently fighting the blaze surrounding the highway. The fire began last weekend when a lightning storm ignited a rash of forest fires in central Newfoundland. Well, there aren't just flowers on display at Memorial University's Botanical Garden in St. John's. There are also more than a dozen doors. It's part of an art exhibit called Doorways to the Garden. Here now's Henrika Wilhelm explains one door's connection to the Association for New Canadians and the issue of human trafficking.
Each of the 14 doors are designed by different artists and groups representing different themes. One of the doors was designed by the Support Empower Access initiative. The initiative, started by the Association for New Canadians, supports newcomers to the province who have experienced or are at risk of human trafficking.
So somewhere 2017, the ANC noticed that there was an influx of women who had been impacted by or had been at risk of human trafficking.
According to numbers released by Statistics Canada in June, 96% of human trafficking victims were female and 1 in 4 victims were underage. 91% of victims knew their trafficker. The report also says that human trafficking often goes unreported. For Newfoundland and Labrador, 8 human trafficking incidents were reported between 2010 and 2020, 2 of them in 2020. Not surprising to the ANC.
I dare say that even the numbers you hear from Statistics Canada are not the numbers on the ground, because you would barely have people reporting. In fact, people go through trafficking and they do not know that they are going through trafficking. All they know is that, oh, we're going through maybe a certain situation, and then they are scared to talk.
When the group heard about the exhibit at the Botanical Garden, it wanted to get involved.
My manager saw it, she was like, this would be a great way to create awareness about this issue here in Newfoundland. And so we came together, got a door, and then we thought of the concept of it. I'm so happy that the concept was hatched by women who had been impacted by this either back home or here.
They came together at their door today to reflect on the United Nations World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, which is observed tomorrow. The group and project help victims connect.
When I came here, it is easy to get people, to meet people, to find a friend. So instead of sitting at home, instead of just stressing by itself, when you go outside like outdoors, you can find people, you know what I'm saying? So you can share your idea or what you have in your insight.
The exhibit will continue until the end of September. Then the group will put the door up for sale and use the funds for something related to the project. Henrike Wilhelm, CBC News, St. John's.
The third National Black Summit is happening in Halifax this weekend. Raven Anderson is taking in the three-day conference as a delegate. She's also a community producer with us here at CBC in St. John's, and she's going to tell us what the summit is all about.
I am at the third National Black Summit, where we are taking control of our narrative and using our own pens to write our own stories, where we are answering the call for the UN's International Decade for People of African Descent. And where else but in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which deep connection to Black Canadian history is as much as 400 years old, actually spanning before Halifax became an official city. So let's get ready. The significance of Nova Scotia to Black Canadians and to Canadian history itself cannot be understated, as it spans over 400 years. It tells a tale of family, community, and resilience. Indeed, the document that will cap off this three-day celebration will be the Halifax Declaration, which will contain voices of Black Canadians, which will be a global document and a historic moment in time, as it will share our voices to the world. The National Black Canadians Summit, there are over 20 workshops, panels, and discussion over the course of the next 3 days. I'm personally looking forward to Anti-Black Racism 101, Activism 101, and Black Lives Matter and beyond. But most of all, I'm thrilled for the experience of Black folk coming together to laugh, to learn, to share, and to explore joy together. It's summertime in the summertime, and we're ready.
Well, despite the chilly and wet weather, 10 teams still cross the finish line at the Labrador West Regatta today. This marks 50 years for the Labrador West Rowing Association, but organizers say the sport has been put on the back burner for many. They used to have triple the number of teams competing and believe COVID could be to blame. The group hopes post-pandemic those numbers will return. And staying with sports, the Newfoundland Growlers basketball team didn't secure a spot in the playoffs, but the team is in good spirits as they get ready to play the final 2 games of the season. The CBC's Alex Kennedy visited a practice session at Munns Fieldhouse this afternoon.
The vibes are good. We had a good month. I think we only lost 2 games this month. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get the playoff berth, but we know that we're growing something here in Newfoundland with the Growlers. So, you know, we started slow, and, you know, we're just going to build and build and build until we turn into a championship organization.
we just want to win. I mean, just to end on a positive note. I mean, we've had a great second half of the season, so I think it's just to build on that and kind of help build for next year, you know?
So what are you looking for in these last couple of games from the group?
Togetherness, no doubt. That we know what worked earlier in those spurts so that got us those wins and things like that. So definitely togetherness, just to come and play and just leave everything out there on the court and know what we have to do in order to get the win.
I'm not done making that name for ourselves. You know, I feel like we got a lot of disrespect the first couple games, and people wrote us off. And I feel like if we can capitalize off this win streak we got going on and get these last 2 wins, I really think we can show the league, and not just the league but our own fans, that we really are that good, and we have something great for you guys next year.
The morale is very high right now. After starting out the year the way we started, 0-10, you know, for us to come out in the month of July and we've turned it now in 8 games, we're 6-2. So, you know, we felt like this is the team that this is the results that we should have had the whole time. And it just unfortunately wasn't like that for us the first month, but we figured out a way to turn it around, and it's been good for us this last month. I just want to continue that. I want to end the season after going 0-10 to start it, to end it 8-2. That's the goal. Our goal is to finish 8th in the rankings right now because that's the highest we can get. So that's what our goals are. You know, we're still playing for something here. Even though we're not going to make the playoffs, we're still trying to play for what would have been playoff seeding.
Well, regardless of the weather, it's going to be a time on George Street tonight. The George Street Festival got underway last night. Ashley is there right now. So how's it looking out there, Ashley?
Yeah, things are literally just about to get started, so if it gets really loud, I apologize for that, but it is a beautiful night down here. People are starting to show up, and they've got a beautiful night as far as weather goes. We're going to talk to a very important person a little bit later, but let's talk about the weather first, and those temperatures outside. It was 17 degrees here in St. John's, which is a big difference from the temperatures that we've seen over the last couple of days. Let's take a look at those as you head towards Central and the West Coast. Those temperatures are a bit warmer, about 22 degrees in Gander, same thing in Corner Brook, and absolutely beautiful up across Labrador. 23 in Makkovik today and 24 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now that is a very different story than what it was yesterday for you, for sure, even in Cartwright at 22 degrees. So the reason why these temperatures have cooled down is thanks to those onshore winds. We saw that cool down last night. It was a perfect night to open up those windows and air out that humidity, and a really comfortable day today as well. And if you take a look at just that, it's 15 degrees right now in St. John's, feeling more like 17. So obviously not a whole lot of humidity in the air. And even up across Labrador as well, not really seeing a whole lot. But if you do enjoy the humidity, don't worry, things will change as we head through the weekend. We'll see some more of that humid air move in, and it's going to move in with that warm front there. So as we head through the night, the chance of showers will move in as well and spread across the island, pretty much across the entire province, really, as we head through the overnight. We may even hear a few rumbles of thunder for the northern peninsula and even southeastern Labrador, you may. But overall, we'll look at those fog patches developing along the south coast and across the Avalon as well. And then temperatures tonight are going to stay quite mild, about 13 degrees in St. John's, and then somewhere between 15 to 17 for the rest of the province, rest of the island rather. Single-digit lows tonight expected in Nain. Now, as far as tomorrow goes, it will be fairly unsettled. We'll see lots of cloud cover. We may see some clearing skies up across the northern peninsula and southeastern portions of Labrador, but we're also looking at those showers developing into the afternoon and evening hours. They'll work their way across the Big Land, as well with some more shower activity as we head after midnight. So generally an unsettled start to the day. And then also looking at that risk of some thunderstorms, northern peninsula and then southeastern Labrador through the day, even Lab West. You may see that they'll be very isolated in nature if they do develop, but you're definitely looking at that risk. Now, as far as temperatures go for tomorrow, we're looking at around 22 degrees for St. John's. We'll start to see that humidity creep back in, but those winds will be out of the south between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour, so that's going to allow that temperature to climb right back up. As far as central Newfoundland goes, you're looking at your temperatures between 22 and 24 degrees, and then for the south coast, around 18 degrees through the evening hours, or rather through the day. And also some fog patches will continue for you. You may see a few peaks of sun for the west coast. Those winds for you again out of the southwest between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. But as far as the northern peninsula goes, I think this will be the best chance where we see some of the thunderstorms and maybe even stronger thunderstorms, like some heavy rain possible if these storms do develop. But about 21 degrees will be the afternoon high in St. Anthony. And then as far as Labrador goes, we're going to hang on to those temperatures again through the afternoon tomorrow. Nain 13 degrees, Lab City you're hovering around 16 degrees. So overall, looking like a little bit of an unsettled forecast. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It's really loud down here. We apologize for that. But let's talk to the drummer of the Tea Party. The Tea Party is leading tonight, the headliner for tonight. They're Canadian rock icons.
Thank you.
And you guys haven't really been touring a lot lately through the pandemic. So how does it feel to be back on stage?
You know, it's been a nice way to get our feet wet again. sort of a tour, sort of not a tour, a festival style summer. And it's been really wonderful to just kind of reintroduce ourselves that way. And the fans have been outstanding. And one of our dreams are coming true by being able to play at the George Street Festival.
Amazing, amazing. So lots of people tonight here, lots of big fans. We've been seeing them approach you already tonight. But some of the people here later on may not even have been born when your music was first introduced. So what's it like, and how are you gonna, introduce them to the new audience?
So the nice thing about being in the band for this long is that when we had 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds coming out to our shows, they now have children that are 18, 19, 20. And we're seeing that nice generation of, live music fans come. So whether you like rock music, country music, R&B, whatever, it's live, and I think a lot of younger people really appreciate that nowadays.
Amazing, amazing. So you've toured all over Canada. How excited are you that you're playing the George Street Festival?
Okay, so I have wanted to play this for years and years and years. I'm surprised it took this long, but I'm so grateful. And my God, the people from Newfoundland and St. John specific, I think the rest of the world thinks that Canadians are so friendly, but I think it really comes from the people of St. John's and Newfoundland, because, my Lord, everywhere you go, hey, how are you? Come on in for a try. It's been outstanding. So we just can't wait for tonight. It's gonna be
amazing,
killer.
yeah. And looks like the
Women of Rock.
Women of Rock are
They're
nailing
rocking.
it. Yeah, they're doing a great job. So, okay, well, thank you so much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Newfoundland.
My God, we had a doctor here in 1792. We can have one here in 2022, can't we?
You would think, but Fogo, like many communities across the province, is facing a major problem. That feature report is coming up just ahead. As much of the country grapples with the shortage of family doctors, one community in this province is feeling the problem acutely. For nearly 2 months, Fogo Island, which is home to more than 2,000 people, has been without a single permanent doctor. And as our Chris O'Neill Yates explains in this special feature report, lives are at risk.
Perched on the edge of the Atlantic, Fogo Island is postcard perfection. The raw beauty, the welcoming vibe. It's an idyllic place. But its magic is marred by a stark new reality facing the residents of the island.
G58.
It's bingo night at the Fogo Island Stadium.
G53.
And there's one thing on everyone's mind.
I mean, there's the elderly community here now. Everybody is getting older, right?
I mean, there's obviously something wrong if there's no doctor on Fogo Island.
Like most of Canada, Fogo Island has an aging demographic. More than 30% of the residents here are seniors, and access to basic health care a critical necessity.
This is the Fogo Island Health Center behind me. It was built in 2004 to serve the island's roughly 2,000 residents. You can get blood work done here, x-rays, most basic services. There's just one problem. There's no doctor in.
Do you want a sandwich or do you want some eggs? Eggs? No. A sandwich.
Sandwich, yeah.
Yeah.
Without access to adequate health care on the island, Aaron Brown felt he needed to move back home from Toronto to look after his grandparents.
So there's really no support system here on the island for my grandparents, and it was either me or the alternative would be to put them in a home off the island, more than likely.
Get you all bundled up.
His granddad has spinal issues along with heart disease, and now getting care for his grandfather is even harder.
Take your legs off.
Yeah, it's a round-the-clock job of, even when he's coughing in the night. It's busy from morning till midnight. They're on my mind.
See all the wood Jamie got?
Yeah, and it becomes a reality of playing doctor, of playing doctor and trying to provide the best health care that a 26-year-old grandson can provide with little training.
So without a family doctor at the hospital, how does that impact the care that your grandfather can get here on the island?
Severely impacts it. It changes it from a preventative type of care, and it changes it to an emergency type care only, where we have to wait till it's too late.
I think we're a proud group of people who will hang on here for a long time.
The mayor of Fogo Island, Andrew Shea, says lives are at risk and it's critical they recruit a doctor.
Have you ever been in this desperate a situation for a doctor before?
Nope. Fogo always had doctors, Fogo Island. But for some reason now it's changed. We got everything here. We got long-term care. All we need is a doctor. My God, we had a doctor here in 1792. We can have one here in 2022, can't we? My God, there's got to be a way.
If someone needs a doctor here today, what do they do?
If we go without a doctor and no advanced paramedic, if you call an ambulance, you have to go to Gander. And that could take you a minimum of 3 hours. So, this can't happen. People are going to die. People are going to die because of this on Fogo Island.
This isn't an issue unique to Fogo Island. The problem extends nationwide. But what does make Fogo Island stand out is that it was once a teaching hospital and had as many as 3 doctors. Getting it right is Twillinkate. It's similar to Fogo Island in many ways, but it's been able to recruit and retain family doctors. We decided to take the 2-hour trip to see how they're doing it.
where you are right now, Twillingate certainly has great opportunity for residency.
Dr. Andrew Hunt is from Twillingate. He's practicing in the very hospital he was born in.
I had no idea really that I was going to end up back in my hometown, and couldn't be happier, to be honest, to be in my hometown once again.
Twillingate Hospital has 4 doctors. In fact, 3 of them grew up in this town, and they all came through the Rural Family Doctor program at Memorial University.
So we've had the success here because, well, each one of us had that exposure to rural medicine early on in our medical training careers, and obviously we're living proof as to how that's worked very well because we're still here.
How could Fogo Island fix its problem of a doctor shortage?
So I think first and foremost we need to look at Fogo as a potential teaching site. So it would be the first step in ensuring that we can continue to educate learners there at that site as well. And in time that would ensure that we have a successful retention plan for many years to come.
It looks like him, don't it?
Sure, he's not home. Let's come today.
Well, I don't know who it is, Nan. So I think place is very important, I guess, in defining who I am. I feel like I owe a lot to Fogo Island. Do you need flippers or tongs?
Alison Best is a third-year medical student, born and raised here. Her family has fished on Fogo Island for 3 generations. She's come home for a visit.
It makes me uneasy thinking about my loved ones on Fogo Island. And for the first time in a very, very long time, not having access to a physician is, it's dangerous and, yeah, scary.
Her family, friends, the community all want her to return, but it will take more than a sense of belonging to lure her back to be the island's only doctor.
I would not want to practice here as the sole physician, especially fresh out of training. I don't think that's safe. I don't think I would feel comfortable doing that. So I need support and, a kind of promise or a guarantee of access to time off.
Oh yeah, gotta let it go a little bit sooner.
Getting doctors to rural places is tough enough.
So watch me. Bend down.
But making sure they don't burn out is essential to keeping them.
So physicians, are certainly looking after their own health, their own physical and mental well-being, and saying, well, we're only humans, and we don't want to be up all hours of the night, 7 days a week, and certainly we're burning ourselves out, and we're affecting our families as well. So taking time to spend time with my kids, wife, that is exceptionally important.
I don't think I could work every single day. I feel like I would get burnt out, and I don't think that's fair to people, is for me to come here, work every day, be on call every day. And people would, I think, would be excited for me to work here, but if I do that, then I don't think I could last 5 years or 10 years. It's too much for one person to take on.
As of right now, where are the scales tipping? Toward coming here or not?
I think probably not. Not like as things stand like right at this minute. But I think that's kind of where my head's at right now.
This is home. This is our history. Our families have been on Fogo Island for the last 250, some 300 years. Nobody ever wants to leave their home, and I could see if it was an island where we were struggling, if we were, dying or declining. This is a thriving island. It doesn't make sense why we can't provide basic health care.
But for now, another day goes by and the search continues.
Are we having fun tonight? Oh, yeah.
Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, Fogo Island, Newfoundland.
We're going to take you back to the George Street Festival. The music is underway, as you can see. There's a concert every night until Wednesday. Ashley is there live. So Ashley, how's it going down there now?
Carolyn, it is very loud down here, but definitely a good concert. The Women of Rock are rocking it right now, and doing a really great job. Pretty impressed, actually. So I'm with the organizer now, Donnie Cody, and can you give us a little rundown of what the rest of the festival kind of looks like?
Well, it's a lot of this, a lot going on. 3 acts a night, locals that we love, national talent that we can't wait to see, stars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For 7 nights in a row, Shanneyganock, Alan Doyle, Snotty Nose Rez Kids, San Robert's Band tonight. So much going on.
Yeah. So what's the energy around the festival this year?
Say again.
What's the energy like around the festival this year?
It's incredible. I mean, last year to have the festival put off for the first time in 2 years was amazing, and this year the ticket sales for every night are going so well. Our last night is the Brett Kissel show. I want everyone to make sure they come out and check out the website for tickets about that. From the Arkell show to the Come Home Year official night, which is the Alan Doyle night, it's going to be action-packed. So check out georgestreetlive.ca and see if you can still grab some tickets.
And obviously the weather is going to play a bit of a role in that. It's been pretty nice so far.
Oh, so good so far. Well, you're the one to ask about that. I mean, I'm going to leave that with you.
Fair enough, fair enough. So how does the George Street Festival compare to other concerts around the city?
Good question. So we have a family-friendly matinee happening on Saturday before the kitchen party night, which is a huge night every year, as you know. But what makes us special, I think, beyond everything else, in the heart of our oldest city, and we are under the stars together, and we're throwing our hands up, and friends are home and family, and it's just magic. And I think that's one thing that we do here on George Street, the 37th annual, that you can't get anywhere else.
Right, yeah. And really, it does look like the weather looks pretty decent. There might be one night of rain, but overall, pretty good. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the festival.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Well, from party animals on George Street to hiking animals, there's a small herd of Nigerian dwarf goats in Broad Cove. Button Adventures brought them there. CBC's Johnny Hodder took a trip to Conception Bay North to find out more.
This is the Button Adventures goat gang. I have 6 Nigerian dwarf goats. Nigerian dwarf goats are very curious, interesting creatures. Pause. What was the question?
We were talking about their personalities and how they're very curious.
They're very curious.
I think that's what we were
Oh my gosh. Very curious creatures. So anything new, they want to get their nose into, sometimes their mouth on. In 2020, we moved from Ontario. And I knew, because I grew up on a farm when I was a teenager and a kid, I knew I wanted to get back to that. I just didn't want the whole like cows and horses and kind of, I know how much mess that they make. So I started researching the best kind of animals to get a farm started, and goats came up. And then I started researching the type of goats, and I came across Nigerian dwarf goats. That's pretty much almost the smallest goats that you can get. And I fell in love with their personalities and the size, and the fact that they produce a lot of milk for the size of them. It just kind of went from there as a little bit of an experiment thing, and then I realized how much people were craving that nature animal group connection, and it's grown from there in the last month and a half. It's just being present in the moment, and then being engaged in terms of the animals, and just to be presently grounded and healed and connected to nature and animals.
Time to find out who's celebrating. Congratulations to Atwood and Helen Smith. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Happy 53rd anniversary to Ron and Ruth Abbott from Labrador City. It's a 60th anniversary for Julie and Cyril McCormick of St. John's. Wishing Rupert and Vicky Dowie a happy 52nd anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Betty and Gerald Ellis of Bishop's Falls. They're celebrating 50 years of marriage. Anniversary greetings going out to Ray and Lillian Norman of Roddickton, who are celebrating their 51st anniversary. Happy 58th anniversary to Edgar and Gertie Smith of Gooseberry Cove, Trinity Bay. Hervin and Muriel Hall are celebrating their 51st wedding anniversary. Congratulations. Wishing Gerald and Bernice Walburn of Fogo a very happy 56th wedding anniversary. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Anthony and Linda Mercer of Shearstown. Wishing Edgar and Shirley Hindy a happy 65th wedding anniversary. Happy 58th anniversary to Woodrow and Eileen Snow of Carbonear. Woodrow is also celebrating his 80th birthday. Congratulations to Sam and Marilyn Hollett. They're celebrating their 59th anniversary next week. Congratulations to Andrew and Mildred Rousel of Leading Tickles, now living in Botwood. They've been married for an impressive 73 years. Best wishes to Max and Phyllis Kirby, who are celebrating their 59th anniversary. Happy 60th anniversary to Calvin and Lynn Potter of Lewisport. Wishing Vince and Sherry Dalton from Little Catalina a very happy 50th anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Watson and Eileen Moland of Musgrave Harbor, who are celebrating 50 years of marriage. Congratulations to Victor and Linda Langdon from Stoneville, who are also celebrating their 50th anniversary this week. Best wishes to Gerald and Jenny Lavers on their 64th wedding anniversary. Wishing Bessie and Albert Knoll of Carbonear a very happy 67th anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary to Ephraim and Blanche Warren of Grey River. Happy 60th anniversary to George and Mary Brinson of Change Islands, now living in Gander. Congratulations to Pat and Joan Cheeseman from 80town, now living in Mount Pearl. They've been married for 53 years. Happy 50th anniversary to Eleanor and Ulf Teschendorf in Calagruze. I hope I pronounced that properly. Happy 65th anniversary to Anna and Richard Luval from Labrador City. Best wishes to Raymond and Sandra Pinkson of Deer Lake on their 56th anniversary. Congratulations to Boyd and Florence Plowman of Port Saunders, who are celebrating 67 years of marriage. Happy 50th anniversary to Boyd and Myra Hicks of Aspen Cove. It's a 65th anniversary for Ernest and Triffy Rogers of Trinity. Wishing Barb and Stan Vokey, also in Trinity, a very happy 53rd anniversary. Happy 52nd wedding anniversary to Walter and Frances Ralph of Clark's Beach. Now to some birthdays. Happy birthday to Bernice Wiseman, who just turned 90. Best wishes to Charlie Murphy of St. John's, who turns 96 today. Happy 91st birthday to Allison Linthorne in Clark's Beach. Teresa Butt of Carbonear is celebrating her 95th birthday. Happy 94th birthday to Agnes Hennessy of Harbor Grace. Birthday greetings to Ronald Holloway of Port Blandford, who is celebrating his 90th. Marjorie Page Roberts of Queenstown, New Brunswick, is turning 90. She's now living in Labrador City. Happy 95th birthday to Joan Tilley of Clarenville. She's a war bride from Scotland. Wishing Felix Maloney of Somerville a happy 92nd birthday. Happy 94th birthday to Nellie Spurl in St. John's. Happy 91st birthday to Winnie Savory of Portabasque. And it's a 90th birthday for Ruby 80 of Clarenville, now living in Hickman's Harbor. Happy 91st birthday to Cyril Penny of Stag Harbor, now living in Gander. Wishing Jean Hilliard of Bay Roberts a happy 93rd birthday, and ending with the big one here, happy 104th birthday to Margaret Clark. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Canada's economy stayed essentially unchanged in May. Some are seeing that as a better outcome than the contraction economists were expecting. Statistics Canada says the real GDP stayed flat in May after a 0.3% expansion in April. Now, the slight uptick in the service sector was offset by a decline in goods-producing industries. Along with supply issues and rising interest rates, a lot of businesses are also facing labor shortages. Canada fared better during the same period than the U.S. did, which saw its economy shrink for 2 quarters in a row, an informal indicator of recession. Well, some cool cats are feeling the love in India. People there are gathering at zoos to celebrate International Tiger Day. The country is home to most of the world's remaining wild tigers, and they come in many sizes and colors.
And right now also we are having 6 white tigers along with 1 young white tiger which is being reared. So we hope that we'll be able to maintain a good stock of all kinds of tigers.
The Bengal tiger is the country's national animal, but the species is vulnerable to poaching and illegal trade. India's rapidly growing human population is also making it challenging to protect their natural habitat. About 4,000 tigers remain in the wild, but their population has been declining, especially in Southeast Asia. Okay, we're going to check in one more time with Ashley down at the George Street Festival. Things are well underway. Ashley, how's the weather looking?
Yeah, things are definitely underway, and Carolyn, I'm probably not going to have a voice tonight from this. It's a good thing the show's almost over. Not only from yelling, but singing along to such great music for the last hour or so. But the weather, if you are planning on enjoying the bands over the next couple of days, looking pretty nice actually. A little bit rainy tomorrow, but overall the long-range forecast looks pretty decent. Take a look at what's going on as we head through Sunday. The weather definitely improving through the day on Sunday. We'll see lots of sunshine. We should see lots of sunshine, maybe a few lingering showers, but overall pretty beautiful. And then across the big lands, you may see a few lingering showers through the day, but also some peaks of sun in the mix. Temperatures are going to start to climb. Temperatures between 20 and 25 degrees. We'll also notice that return of the humidity. The winds will shift to westerlies. They may pick up a bit, but overall, looking like a pretty nice Sunday. Labrador, you'll go back down to the teens in Lab West. About 15 is what we're expecting on Sunday. Now, as we head into Monday, the temperature is really starting to climb. 26 degrees in St. John's, 27 through Central. And as we look at the temperatures up across the Big Land, they should be hovering in around 21 degrees for Happy Valley Goose Bay on Monday, with lots of sunshine. Some showers continue again for Lab West. So take a look at the long-range forecast as we head into Tuesday, looking at a pretty nice stretch of weather. By Wednesday, Regatta Day, at this point, looking like we'll see some showers. Way too early to predict, but at this point, 23 degrees, so not bad weather-wise. As far as central Newfoundland goes, you're looking at your temperatures into the 20s. Showers again by Wednesday, pretty much across the board, even into western Newfoundland. 22 degrees, and then for eastern Labrador, you're looking at your temperatures into the 20s, climbing even more so Tuesday. Nice stretch of weather there. And then for western Labrador, temperatures will hang around in the teens through the day. Had to share this photo. Our weather photo of the day is this beautiful shot of a summer day in Brigus. Heather Gooby shared that great shot. I think probably the most photographed house in Brigus for sure. If you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to Facebook, Twitter, or email them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Thanks so much, Ashley. A beautiful shot there, and looks like it's going to be a great time down on George Street tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a safe and happy weekend, and we'll leave you now with our live shot of George Street in downtown St. John's, where night 2 of the George Street Festival is underway. Good night.